Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this new video. So in this video, this is going to be Bible verses about Bethel in the Bible. I'm going to read 59 Bible verses about Bethel. So without further ado, let's go. Right, the first is Genesis 13 to 13. But the men of Sodom were wicked and sinners before the Lord exceedingly. Oh no, sorry, Genesis 13 to 3. And he went on his journeys from the south even to Bethel, unto the place where his tent had been at the beginning between Bethel and Hai. Judges 21 to 19. Then they said, Then they said, Behold, there is a feast of the Lord in Shihon yearly, in a place which is on the north side of Bethel, on the east side of the highway that goeth up from Bethel to Shechem, and on the south of Lebanon. Amos 5 to 5. Amos. Where is Amos? But seek not Bethel, nor enter into Gilgal, and pass not to Beersheba, for Gilgal shall surely go into captivity, and Bethel shall come to naught. 1 Kings 13 to 11. Now there dwelt an old prophet in Bethel, his sons. Oh, sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Now there dwelt an old prophet in Bethel, and his sons came and told him all the works that the man of God had done that day in Bethel, the words which he had spoken unto the king. Then they told also to their father. Genesis 12 to 8. And he removed from thence unto the mountain on the east of Bethel, and pitched his tent, having Bethel on the west and Hai on the east. And there he builded an altar unto the Lord, and called upon the name of the Lord. 2 Kings 2 to 2. And Elijah said unto Elish, Tarry here, I pray thee, for the Lord hath sent me to Bethel. And Elisha said unto him, As the Lord liveth, and as thy soul liveth, I will not leave thee. So they went down to Bethel. 1 Kings 12 to 32. And Jeroboam ordered a feast in the 8th month, on the 15th day of the month, like unto the feast that is in Judah. And he offered upon the altar, so did he in Bethel, sacrifices unto the calves that he had made. And he had placed in Bethel the priests of the high places which he had made. Ezra 2 to 28. The men of Bethel and Ai 220 and 3. Nehemiah 7 to 32. The men of Bethel and Ai 120 and 3. 1 Kings 13 to 10. So he went another way and returned not by the way that he came to Bethel. Jeremiah 48-13. And Moab shall be ashamed of Shemesh, as the house of Israel was ashamed of Bethel, their confidence. Genesis 35-15. And Jacob called the name of that place where God spoke unto him Bethel. Joshua 16-2. Joshua. And goeth out from Bethel to Luz, and passeth along unto the borders of Acre to Ataroth. Hosea 10-15. So shall Bethel do unto you because of your great wickedness in the morning, shall the king of Israel utterly be cut off. Nehemiah 11-31. The children also of Benjamin from Geber dwelt at Michmash and Ajah and Bethel and in their villages. Judges 1-23. And the house of Joseph sent to descry Bethel. Now the name of the city before was Luz. Judges 1-22. And the house of Joseph, they also went up against Bethel, and the Lord was with them. Amos 7-13. But prophesy not again any more at Bethel, for it is the king's chapel, and it is the king's court. Genesis 35-6. So Jacob came to Luz, which is in the land of Canaan, that is Bethel, he and all the people that were with him. 1 Kings 12-29. And he set one in Bethel, and the other put he in Dan. Genesis 35-8. But Deborah, Rebekah's nurse, died, and she was buried beneath Bethel under an oak, and the name of it was called Allon Buckath. Genesis 35-16. And they journeyed from Bethel, and there was built a little way to come to Ephraim, and Rachel travelled, and she had hard labour. Joshua 8-12. And he took about 5,000 men and set them to lie in ambush between Bethel and Ai on the west side of the city. Amos 4-4. Come to Bethel and transgress at Gilgal, multiply transgressions and bring your sacrifice every morning and your titans after 3 years. Hosea 12-4. Yet he had power over the angel and prevailed. He wept and made supplication unto him. He found in Bethel, and there he spoke with us. Amos 5-6. Seek the Lord, and ye shall live, lest he break out like fire in the house of Joseph, and devour it, and there be none to quench it in Bethel. First Kings 13-1. And behold, there came a man of God out of Judah by the word of the Lord unto Bethel, and Jeroboam stood by the altar to burn incense. Joshua 18-22. And Bethlehem and Zemarin and Bethel. 1 Samuel 7-16. And he went from year to year in circuit to Bethel and Gilgal in Mizpah, and judged Israel in all those places. Judges 4-5. And she dwelt under the palm tree of Deborah between Ramah and Bethel in Mount Ephraim, and the children of Israel came up to her for judgment. Genesis 35-3. And let us arise and go to Bethel, and I will make thee an altar unto God, who answered me in the day of my distress, and was with me in the way which I came. 2 Kings 17-28. Then one of the priests who they had carried away from Samaria came and dwelt in Bethel, and taught them how they should fear the Lord. Amos 7-10. Then Amaziah, priest of Bethel, sent to Jeroboam, king of Israel, saying, Amos hath conspired against thee in the midst of the house of Israel. The land is not able to bear all his words. Joshua 8-9. Joshua therefore sent from forth, and they went to lie in ambush and abode between Bethel and Ai on the west side of Ai. But Joshua lodged the night among the people. Joshua 12-9. The king of Jericho won the king of Ai, which is beside Bethel, 1. Joshua 16-1. And a lot of the children of Joseph fell from Jordan by Jericho onto the water of Jericho on the east to the wilderness that goeth up from Jericho throughout Mount Bethel. Genesis 28-19. And he called the name of the place Bethel, but the name of the city was called Luz at the first. Joshua 7-2. And Joshua sent men from Jericho to Ai, which is beside Bethphage, on the east side of Bethel, and spoke unto them, saying, Go up and view the country. And the men went up and viewed Ai. 1 Kings 13-32. For the saying which he cried by the word of the Lord against the altar in Bethel, and against all the houses of the high places which are in the cities of Samaria, shall surely come to pass. 2 Kings 10-29. Albeit from the sins of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, who made Israel to sin, Jerah departed not from after them, to wit, the golden calves that were in Bethel, and that were in Dan. Okay, Genesis 35-1. And God said unto Jacob, Arise, go up to Bethel, and dwell there, and make there an altar unto God that appeased unto thee, when thou fleddest from the face of Esau thy brother. Joshua 8-17. And there was not a man left in Ai or Bethel that went not out after Israel, and they left the city open and pursued after Israel. 2 Kings 23-17. And he said, What title is that I see? And the men of the city told him, It is the spectacle of the man of God which came from Judah, and proclaimed these things that thou hast done against the altar of Bethel. Joshua 12-16. The king of Medekiah won the king of Bethel, 1. Amos 3-14. That in the day that I shall visit the transgression of Israel upon him, I will also visit the altars of Bethel, and the horns of the altar shall be cut off and fall to the ground. Joshua 18-13. And the border went over from thence toward Luz to the side of Luz, which is Bethel, southward. And the border descended to Ataroth Arah, near the hill that lieth on the south side of the Never Beth-horon. Genesis 31 to 13. I am God of Bethel, where thou anointest the pillar, and where thou vowest a vow unto me. Now arise, get thee out of this land, and return unto the land of the kindred. 2 Kings 2 to 3. And the sons of the prophets that were at Bethel came forth to Elisha, and said unto him, Knowest thou that the Lord will take away thy master from thy head today? And he said, Yeah, I know it, hold ye your peace. 2 Kings 2 to 37. No, 2 Kings 23 to 7. 2 Kings 23 to 79, sorry. Oh no. 1 Samuel 13 to 2. Samuel. Saul chose him 3,000 men of Israel, wherefore 2,000 were with Saul in Mishmach in Mount Bethel, and 1,000 were with Jonathan in Gilead of Benjamin, and the rest of the people he sent every man to his tent. 2 Kings 2 to 23. Oh no, 2 Kings 2 to 3. No, yeah, 2 Kings 2 to 23. And he went up from thence into Bethel, and as he was going up by the way, there came forth little children out of the city, and mocked him, and said unto him, Go up, thou baldhead, go up, thou baldhead. 1 Samuel 10 to 3. Then shall thou go on forward from thence, and thou shalt come to the plain of Tabor, and there shall meet thee 3 men going up to God to Bethel, one carrying 3 kids, and another carrying 3 loaves of bread, and another carrying a bottle of wine. 2 Chronicles 13 to 19. And Abijah pursued after Jeroboam, and took cities from him, Bethel with the towns therefore, and Jahish with the towns therefore, and Ephraim with the towns therefore. 1 Chronicles 7 to 28. And their possessions and inhabitants were Bethel, and the towns therefore were eastward Naran, and westward Gerzer, the towns therefore Shechem also, and the towns therefore unto Gaza, and the towns therefore. 1 Samuel 30 to 27. To them which were in Bethel, and to them which there were in South Ramoth, and to them which were in Jattir. 2 Kings 12 to 33. No, 1 Kings 12 to 23. So he offered upon the altar which he had made in Bethel the 15th day of the 8th month, even in the month which he had devised of his own art, and ordained a feast unto the children of Israel, and he offered upon the altar and burnt incense. 2 Kings 23-4. And the king commanded Hilkiah the high priest, and the priests of the second order, and the keepers of the door, to bring forth out of the temple of the Lord all the vessels that were made by Balaam for the grove, and for all the hosts of heaven, and he burned them without Jerusalem in the fields of Kidron, and carried the ashes of them unto Bethel. Second Kings 23-15. Moreover, the altar that was at Bethel, and the high place which Jeroboam the son of Nebat, who made Israel to sin, had made, both the altar and the high place, he broke down and burned the high place, and stumped it small to powder, and burned the grove. Right, now 1 Kings 13-44, and this will be the last one. And it came to pass, when King Jeroboam heard the saying of the man of God which had cried against the altar of Bethel, that he put forth his hand from the altar, saying, lay hold on him, and his hand which he put forth against him dried up, so that he could not pull it in again to him. Right, so that's about Bethel, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you like that. Make sure you like, you subscribe, turn the bell on so you're notified every time I release a new video, and glory be to God. Amen, amen, amen.